Providence Home Lending, helping you finance the way home.
Good afternoon. This is the Providence Home Lending Mortgage and Real Estate Show on Joy 1340. I'm your host, DJ Christofferson. Anytime you need to get in touch with us, if you got a topic you'd like us to cover, or you're looking to buy a house, call us at 262-754-3330 or always online at homeloansbydj.com. The last couple of weeks, I've been having some guests on from my company, Providence Home Lending, but I wanted to switch things up because it gets kind of boring, redundant. Sometimes I talk about mortgages. I love talking about it. I could talk about it every single day, but let's change things up. So I got a realtor sitting with us, and before I introduce her, I kind of got to give a little bit of background on her. I got a lot of dirt on her. I've known her for 28 years. She's a mother of twins, and got a third one on the way. She's got an awesome husband who I've known pretty much my entire life. So I'd like to welcome my sister, Jennifer Kinley. So I'm real happy you're here today, and we're going to get into some business stuff, and not every guest I'm going to have on, I'm going to go do this next part, because not every guest is a Christian, but this is a Christian radio station. We are fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, and I wanted to kind of go into that area first. Jennifer, can you kind of just share, because you got a great testimony, kind of share what brought you to the foot of the cross?
Well, I guess growing up in high school, I kind of started there a little bit. I had a great foundation, believed in God, believed in Jesus, believed in all of that, but I wasn't really walking the way I should have been. I kind of was a rebellious teen, probably put my family through a lot more than I needed to. I think I thought I was more grown up than what I was. So I guess I just kind of jumped ahead a few years and tried to make some decisions on my own. And I remember one night, this is the only time that I can remember hearing God's audible voice. And I had just kind of had a night of partying and just being real dumb. And I just remember him speaking to me, and he asked me, like my own dad would ask me, "What are you doing?" And it actually pulled me up out of bed. It was like 4 a.m, and it pulled me up out of bed. I remember it startled me, and then I just went back to bed. I denied that voice. And after that, I went through a series of, I would say about 3 years of hitting rock bottom, and met some people that just were not good influences in my life, and just kept digging myself into a deeper and deeper hole. And all the while, I knew that my family was praying for me. I would go to church every once in a while, but it was never anything that was really sinking in. And then I ended up running into some significant trouble, and I was facing some pretty harsh consequences. And at that point in time, God just kind of delivered me from everything. I had to go through a series of events where I actually had to do community service, and had several hours of, I think it was 200 hours of community service that I had to walk through, pay fines, and all those types of things. And thankfully, I don't have anything but just some scars, but I don't have anything that sits with me today other than this fantastic testimony that I have that I'm trying to use for good.
Being your older brother and walking through that with you, or actually more or less seeing it from a distance, because there was a big time of that part. I was in college. Now, we have a lot of people that are listening that can probably relate to your story, or kind of going through it right now, where they have a rebellious child and really feeling lost on it. And you're coming from the rebellious child standpoint. Can you kind of share some things that that they can maybe do or help or pray, or words of encouragement, or things that Mom did to reach you with the gospel of Jesus?
Mom just kept speaking life into me, just speaking that I didn't have to walk through what I was walking through. I didn't have to go that route, that there was another answer. And for a lot of times I would just kind of blow that off. But her words stuck with me a lot. And I know that she was a daily, every moment of the day, praying, a praying woman, a praying mom. And I know she was on her knees a lot, and just praying that at some point I would come back. And I did. So I know that the power of prayer is so much greater than we can even fathom. And we don't know what that timeline looks like. But if there's anything that can be done, it is to get on your hands and knees and just pray that things would change.
Now you're several years removed from that. You have your own family. And looking back upon that time, and looking back on Mom and how she loved you, other than Jesus, there's really no love like a mother's love, is there?
No.
Can you kind of explain that to the people out there that are very discouraged, and how your mindset kind of changed and realized there is no love like a parent's love?
I did not realize it until I had my own kids, that you just have this unconditional love, this overwhelming love, and it's the same love that the Father has for us. And again, I never understood that, but when your child's in pain and you can see them in pain, it just breaks your heart and you just weep. I mean, my kids are going to be 4, and they're twins. When they get a boo-boo, it just breaks my heart because they're so emotional about it. As thinking about Mom, the things that she probably saw that I was going through, it probably just broke her and just crushed her. And I, now as an adult, I mean, I can't imagine going through that with my own children. That is just one thing that I would never wish upon anyone, because I know there were just days where she probably just cried and cried and cried, that her baby girl, the girl that she had prayed for her entire life, that, that this was happening. So there's nothing that can replace that love that you have for your own children.
Yeah, let's take that natural experience as a mother and the love you have for a child and the pain and the tears you shed as they get hurt or difficult things happen to them. How has it better helped you to understand the heart of God?
We are created in His image, and He gives us this gift of being able to be compassionate and to just love, and to love not only your children, but to love one another. And I think it's just a beautiful thing that here in the natural, in the flesh, that we can actually see through other people who God is. And so I think that's given me a better understanding that God loves like no other. His love is jealous. It is unconditional. It's something even that we can't fathom here. However, we get a good glimpse of what it looks like on this side of heaven. So I think it's pretty awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, as I was saying, it's been several years. Now you're married, got great kids, and God's blessed you with a singing voice and a voice of an angel. Can you kind of share with the audience, because I firmly believe God gives us all gifts, whether before we're Christians we are gifted, and it's really what we do with that gift and whether we glorify God. Can you kind of explain that gift God has given you, where you were with it and where you currently are at with it?
Sure. I have been singing my entire life, and competitive singing, and back in the day when I wasn't walking with the Lord, I would use that gift more as simply a talent for myself, for self-gratification. People would say, oh, your voice is amazing, and that would just be to kind of puff me up. Where now I co-lead worship at our church, and I'm using it for God's glory to help lead others to the cross. There's something that's in music ministry that just breaks people, to the point where, they're just so broken, so hurt that there's just something in the music and the lyrics and the emotion behind it, in the words, that really just digs deep into people's souls, and just people find Jesus.
Yeah, I remember this very distinctly, the first time that you were on the stage for worship, and it brought tears to my eyes, because I remember seeing you out in the bars singing karaoke to visit you and all that, but there was just some sort of radiating light coming from you, and it's the love of God coming through, and it's been a real blessing to see you blossom as a woman of God, as a wife, and as a mother.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got to hit a break, and if you want to get in touch with us, you want to get in touch with Jennifer, shoot us a call at 262-754-3330 or at homeloansbydj.com. Hi, everyone. Your host, DJ here. I'd like to get the attention of all the home buyers out there. Home buyers, are you listening? Wonderful. My team and I would love to have the opportunity to be your mortgage lender. And it's at this point I'm supposed to say a lot of great things about my team, but as the Bible says, be doers of the word and not just hearers. We want to show you that we are the premier mortgage team in Southeast Wisconsin. To give us this opportunity, call us today at 262-754-3330 or check us out at homeloansbydj.com. We're back with the Providence Home Lending Mortgage and Real Estate Show. I am DJ Christofferson. Contact us at 262-754-3330 at homeloansbydj.com. In the last segment, we were talking with Jennifer Kinley. She's a real estate agent with Dream Realtors in Southeast Wisconsin, and we were more digging into her testimony and what brought her to the foot of Christ, and kind of how he had the most significant impact in her life. But now I want to switch towards the business side of things. And I'm a big firm believer, and if you're listening to one of our first show that James and I were talking about on how we feel it's very important to, when you have the opportunity to get money into the kingdom, you do it. Whether it's through your tithe, or if you're purchasing things, or if you have to pay out commission to things, that you do it through a person that is faithful and is a faithful steward of what God has given them. And Jennifer, I know her family, their budgets and all that. They are great stewards of the resources that God has given them. And Jennifer, being a realtor, the way that she makes money, the way she provides for her family is through this sale of real estate. And so I want to get into that. And Jennifer, can you kind of talk about how you got into the business and kind of just bring us up to speed in a minute or so?
Sure. Well, I feel like I've been in real estate my entire life. My mom, Cindy Christofferson, actually started in real estate, gosh, I'll probably get the number wrong, maybe between 15 and 17 years ago or something. So I feel like I've kind of been, eating, sleeping, and breathing real estate for several years. I started out in some different fields. I went into nursing originally, but kind of felt like that wasn't for me. I knew I needed to help people. I just didn't know what that looked like. And so naturally, my mom and I are very similar in personality, so I kind of fell into her footsteps a little bit. So just kind of following in her legacy of what she's been able to accomplish in her career, I just kind of moved into that place a little bit.
Very cool. So you and Mom, you guys got the buying side, I got the financing side, which is kind of cool. So,
right.
And so you've been doing this for a few years now, and I've been watching as your business growing and how your clients react to it. And it's a very cool thing to see. But can you kind of explain where the market is today? Because I see it from a different angle than you, but you actually have boots on the ground. You are seeing it. You're writing the offers, and what's going on in today's marketplace?
Well, I'm primarily a buyer's agent. I have a team that kind of represents us for our listing side of things, but so I'll kind of speak to the buyer's side of what's going on. So the market out there has been real hot. It's busy. There's the whole thing of supply and demand. There's not a ton of properties out there, so the demand for those properties is really high. So it's a great time to list your home if you've been kind of on the fence, just because there's so many buyers out there and not enough properties. But what that creates is several buyers on the same property. Properties are going for list price, if not higher, multiple offers within the first few days, real quick. So I guess if you're looking for something, you find something you love, that's something that we need to move on fairly quickly.
Right. I say this about myself, lenders and realtors, we're not all created the same. The Realtor A, Realtor B, Realtor C, they're not all the same. And the same thing with the TV. They're not all the same. Some have more megahertz, some have better pixels and all of that stuff. And I work with, over the course of a year, 100 or 200 realtors. And I'm not saying that's because you're my sister, but I really enjoy working with you. Can you kind of explain with us what separates a great buyer's agent just from an okay buyer's agent?
I think what separates is I get to know my clients. I get to know what their wants, their needs are, what they're looking for, what their goals are. I get to get emotional with them. I've made some great friendships. I have great relationships. I get to know them to the point where, I get to come over for their barbecues at their new house. I do a lot of research. I pay attention to what they're wanting. I'm just there for them.
Right. So how much does it cost to work with the buyer's agent?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I don't get paid from my buyers. I get paid on the sale of the listing.
So you go through all the work, you're showing the property, you're doing the research, you're driving your car, you're paying, the gas for all of that, and then you get paid at the closing.
Correct.
Okay, so then what would stop, why would a person not even work with the buyer's agent then? Is there a good reason not to?
I think so many people have the misperception that it costs so much to work with a buyer's agent. I think a lot of people think that real estate agents make so much money, but truthfully, I don't make any money until I close on that property.
Right. And so, being in full commission sales is what you are, and you have a family to feed, to take care of. Your husband works too, and he helps on the listing side of things. How do you manage your time being a mother, being a wife, being a real estate agent?
That was a tricky one for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I have to be pretty strict on my routine and on my schedule. I have certain times of the day that, I have to return calls. If it's a pressing issue, of course, that I'll get a response much quicker. my family time is very important, and I got to schedule that in. I have to schedule everything. Just like I schedule my worship practices for church and things like that. Everything has a time slot, and I try my best to fill those in so that I can give everybody the time that they need and deserve.
All right. So part of it needs to be the buyers need to be respectful of your time, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I do work with some realtors. They're working 24/7 because buyers are just throwing them around, which is real unfortunate because you're a mom, you're a wife, you have a family and take care of all of that. I want to jump into something real quick, but if you want to get a hold of Jennifer, you can call us at 262-754-3330 or drop us a line at homeloansbydj.com. Now, I want to talk about the buying process. Now, what would be the best first step for a buyer?
To get in touch with DJ Christofferson.
Oh, thank
Putting
you.
in a commercial for you.
Thank you.
But it makes sense to find out what your bottom line looks like. When we take into consideration, okay, what do you want to spend per month? What dollar amount is that going to be? There's just a lot of factors that go into purchasing a home. So we kind of want to know what our complete scenario is before we start. I don't want to leave anyone disappointed.
Now, when it comes to buyers, what if they want to look at a house and they haven't gotten pre-approved yet? How do sellers feel about that?
Sellers would be discouraged on that if they would find out that a buyer is not pre-approved to go in there, because it gets the seller excited that, hey, we have a buyer coming through. This is a potential person to come buy our home because we need to move. We need to move out of state.
Right. Right.
But if they find out they're not pre-approved, it gets them overjoyed, and then they're left disappointed when they can't finance the house.
Can't finance it, or they realize it's over their budget or something like
Right.
that. All right, so I want to ask this question. You have two different clients here. You have client A. They're pre-approved. They've spoken with, we'll say me. They got their free loan consultation. They know exactly how much they qualify for and their loan programs, versus a buyer that goes, hey, I want to see houses. I want to go write an offer on something. Have you noticed a difference between client A and client B on the smoothness of their process once they do have an offer?
Oh, definitely. Client A is on top of it, getting you and your company, your processor, all the information that's needed so that we can close on time when we say we're going to.
Right.
Client B is more likely to be not delivering things on time, just not with it, which tends to kind of slow and delay the process down, and not hitting deadlines. That makes the buyer unhappy. That makes the rest of the parties unhappy. The seller's unhappy. It's unfortunate if we don't close on time.
Yeah, and it's a legal binding contract, so you're actually in
Correct.
breach of contract, so there could be financial repercussions as a result
Correct.
of it. Okay, cool. And so people are looking online. A lot of people are starting their research online. I think like 90% of people start their process by looking online.
Right.
Now, there's a lot of websites out there, Trulia, Zillow, and various other websites people are looking at. Now, are those the best sites for people to be finding the houses that fit what they want?
No, I would say not. And the reason for that is all these sites kind of pull all this information from what I use is the MLS, the Metro Listing Service. So that's got all the current listings on there that'll show me what properties have accepted offers. It's going to give me the most detail, where these other sites just kind of take whatever properties show up on there, but they're not going to let you know if a property's been sold, if it's pending, or if it's got an accepted offer on it. Sometimes properties that are on there aren't even currently listed. They were sold 6 years ago, but they're telling you this property could sell for this price today. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
So you could be looking at a property on, say, Trulia or Zillow, whatever it might be, and you find the house of your dreams on there, but it's already sold?
Yes.
Have you ever had clients like that that's happened to them?
Yes, unfortunately. And it breaks my heart because, they get invested. A lot of my buyers will actually decorate the place in their mind.
Right.
And kind of figure out, I could put the bed here, I could put the bed there, or what have you. And then they find out it's not going to be a fit for them because it's already gone.
All right, so you're saying you set people up on MLS search. Can you kind of talk about the advantages of that, or how that goes about, how you go about doing that?
You bet. We talk on the phone or we meet in person, kind of find out what you're looking for. So we kind of set up a little bit of a broader search initially, and then we find out, okay, what are your needs? You like this, you don't like that. I can tailor that search specifically to what you're looking for, down to square footage, acreage, the date the house was built or year the house was built, taxes, school district, to be a little bit more specific so that we can find the exact property that you're looking for. Now, if we want to expand the search or shrink the search down, we can do that there as well.
Now, do those listings get sent to them automatically?
Automatically.
And what about new listings that come on? I mean, do they get those, or do they have to say, hey, send me some new ones, or how does that work?
As long as it fits in with the criteria that we've put in there, they will automatically come to that buyer's email.
Okay, and let's just say someone's looking, they capped their search at 150, and the house was 160, but it dropped down to 150. Do they get notified of that?
Yes.
So do they have to do anything, or is it just set up and all this stuff is sent to them?
It's just set up and done for them. As long as they get the information, it'll be taken care of.
And how current is that data? So something gets put on the market, how soon will they receive it? Instantly. And how long does it usually take on those other websites to go?
It depends on the site. It could take 24 hours. It could take even longer. And that's the thing, if there's an accepted offer on there, that might never show up. Or it's, how many days down the road.
And if it's a hot market, so if it's a hot market, you're not getting the listing for a week. You could already be missing out on that, huh?
Right.
Okay. And now you're saying the work with you is free. Now, is there any cost to that service to set them up out in that free?
It's completely free.
Completely free. Okay. Well, we got to hit a break again, but if you want to get on that automated search, cost you nothing. You'll be the first in to know what houses hit the market. Contact us at 262-754-3330 or at homeloansbydj.com. Hello, I'm DJ Christofferson with Providence Home Lending. Now's a great time to buy a home, and I know there are many people out there that would like to buy a home, but don't think they can because they don't have the perfect credit or they don't have a lot of money for a down payment. If that's you, I have great news. We have fantastic fixed-rate loan programs that feature low or no down payment. Your credit isn't that great? We have options for credit scores all the way down to 580. To get more details, call my team at 262-754-3330 or visit us at homeloansbydj.com. We're back to the Providence Home Lending, Mortgage, and Real Estate Show. I'm DJ Christofferson. Contact us at 262-754-3330 or at homeloansbydj.com. We've been visited by Jennifer Kinley, a real estate agent, and my sister. How's it going, Jennifer? You been enjoying your first time on the radio?
I am having a blast.
It's always fun to spend some time with you. In this last segment, I want to kind of switch over to the personal service that you have and the heart you have for people. And you and I very much have that heart where, I don't know, we just love people. And can you kind of talk about a client or any clients that you've had in the recent past that you went above and beyond, or that, you went above and beyond the service or the call of duty?
Mm-hmm. I have this beautiful couple I'll talk about. They just closed on their home a couple of weeks ago, and I've just been so blessed to have met them. They're encouraging. They're wonderful. Actually, I got a text message just recently from her. We find out what we're having. So I'm pregnant with my third, and she's thinking of you,
Right.
just to be encouraging. So it's wonderful to have those friendships. But back to the business side of it, they weren't pre-approved anywhere else. They couldn't get approved anywhere else. Credit score wasn't where it needed to be, and I'm pretty inquisitive. So I wanted to find, okay, well, why are you getting these denials? What's going on here? Mm-hmm. So just asking the questions, okay, what is your scenario? Are you working full-time? You're working part-time? What does that look like? Are you just kind of doing a little bit of a pre-qualification?
Right.
And I just said, there's just something not right. Can I have you talk to my lender partner, that being you, DJ?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Because I think there's something that he can do for you. Whether or not, let's just kind of see what the timeline looks like. Because I think it'd be great for you guys to buy your first home. Let's just kind of see what that looks like. And everyone else said they couldn't get it done, but I was like, all right, well, let's see what DJ can do. And sure enough, you were able to help pull it together with your team, and we got them their first home, and they are overjoyed.
I remember when they came into my office to go over things and to get the application rolling, they were just raving about you, how much they love you and how awesome you are. And I asked them, what made you, Jennifer, stand out above the rest? And it kind of shocked me in this regard. Not that you don't have awesome things about you, but because of other people. They're saying that they talked to a lot of realtors, and they told them that when you get pre-approved or you're ready to go, then you can give me a call. They didn't help them out. They didn't set them up. They didn't ask any questions. They just knew that or heard that they weren't pre-approved. So they said, well, come back to me in 6-12 months, and I'll see if I can talk to you then. Now, why aren't you like that, or what made you take that call when, it was several different realtors said, go work with somebody else?
I'm a firm believer in just planting the seed, watering it, and watching it grow. And with them, I just wanted to see what I could do to start the process. And if we needed to keep watering it for a while, that was perfectly fine. But it's my job to see these people happy and find a home, whether that takes 30 days or it takes 3 years. But that I just want to see people happy and to be able to fulfill their dreams and their goals.
So you're getting people into their dream home, but also to you, it's a ministry opportunity. How did you turn this into a ministry opportunity to this family?
I was able to witness. I was able to share with them what Jesus has done for me. And you know what? It was beautiful for them to be able to open up and share that we have like faiths.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful to be able to spend time with other Christians and other believers in this process. It's wonderful.
And how do you view your role? You're a businesswoman, your responsibility with your clients from a biblical standpoint.
I treat my clients and I run my business as godly as I possibly can in the natural, I guess. I treat it with respect. I treat my clients with respect. I build the business on faith foundation, because without God, without His hand and His favor over this, it's nothing.
Yeah, and your faith drives what you do, and you have an opportunity to witness to people. Can you kind of give us just a 10-second overview of why people should work with you?
I'm honest. I get the job done. I take care of my clients, and I work my rear off.
You work your rear off.
Very
very politically correct. So thank you. We're on a Christian radio station, so thank you. And next week we have a very fantastic show for you. We're going to be talking about construction loans, how you can build your own dream house with only 3.5% down. But again, get in touch with Jennifer. You can contact my team at 262-754-3330. She will take absolute great care of you. Nobody's going to work harder for you, whether it's a $50,000 house or it's $1 million house. Again, that's 262-754-3330 or at homeloansbydj.com. And see you next week.
Providence Home Lending, helping you finance the way